Good morning, friends. It's Terrific Tuesday. Good. How is everybody? Good morning, Rachel. How are you? It's beginning to feel a little bit like winter around here. I know y'all are scratching your head this morning going, why is she working on winter stuff? Cindy, good morning. Thank you so much. You guys have seen this square a lot. This is the, what did I call it? Victorian Rose Square. But today we're making it winter colors. Hey, Jennifer, good morning. I worked on my baby blanket over the weekend for the county fair, and I lost at Yarn Chicken. I was kind of frustrated. Hey, Pam, good morning. Cassie, welcome in. Good morning, everybody. I don't know what that sub thing is. I don't know how to turn that off. Huh. Isn't that something? I was going to try to send a subscription to Mama Wheeler this morning. Let me see if I can do that. I know Maggie's wasn't working. Let's see. How do I do this? Extend. Can we gift one? Huh. Show more. Hang on, y'all. My mom, she doesn't do the TikTok money thing. So I uh, I like to give her one. The only thing I can see is how to extend it. I guess it's still not working. Isn't that weird? Anyhow, sorry, total squirrel, y'all. Um, I don't know if I can give her one on this either. Subscribe. Send subscription to others. Oh, this might work. Hang on. Hang on, you guys. This is important. I need to send my mom a sub thing if I can. Anyhow, we're going to work on this square today. Why can't I ever find her on here? That is the problem. Friends, let's try this. Her little icon is pretty bright. I usually can see it. Yeah, I totally lost at Yarn Chicken, Jennifer. We're going to make this square in just a second, guys. I'm trying to send a subscription to my mom if I can. She likes to be able to use those little stickers. But I can't find her on the list. I'm scrolling. I'm scrolling. What have you guys all been up to? Did y'all have a good weekend? This square I'm calling the Winter Snow Square. It is really pretty yarn too. Anyhow, I lost at Yarn Chicken. I'll show y'all my baby blanket. It's so close. I had to order more yarn. I'm kind of disappointed about it. If I'm not lying, I'm kind of disappointed. Why can't I find her? Oh, are these alphabetical? Maybe these are alphabetical. Oh, they are. Duh. Sorry, friends. Bear with me here. I know you probably think this is nuts that I'm trying to take care of my mom, but I love my mom. Normally, I'm able to send it to her when I'm not on the live, and it wouldn't let me do it. Hey, Candy Joe, good morning. I'm going to crochet in just a few minutes, guys. Sorry, bear with me here. I'm to the L's. It makes it so I have to scroll through all my friends. Let's see. Okay, we got to be getting close here. Here she is. Done. Send. Agree. Agree. Send. It's probably going to want my face. Daily limit for sending subscription reach. Try again tomorrow. Okay, I did all that for nothing. Good Lord. Okay, well, I guess Mom Wheeler's not going to have her little stickers this morning. She's not going to be happy. So anyhow, let me, y'all want to see my baby blanket where I lost at Yarn Chicken? Hey, Karina, good morning. Gen X, good morning. Pam, good morning. Sorry, y'all. Total squirrel moment. Okay, so here's my baby blanket. So what I did is I put just this little scallop shell on it. And this is how much I need right here. So I ended right here when I ran out of yarn. And I literally need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 scallops. Can you believe that? I'm so bummed. I'm so bummed out, y'all. So anyhow, I ordered it off of Amazon and it's coming. But I like just a very simple shell border on this blanket. You can kind of see it there, how all the stitches kind of worked out. So it has shells down here within the pattern itself. But with these, you actually do a back post around these shells that kind of make them pop forward. But when I do the very edge, I just put a plain shell on there. I still do 7. It's kind of pretty, just simple, you know. So this is going to be for the county fair. But as I mentioned, I got to order more yarn and I got a ton of ends to weave in. So I was hoping to have it finished over the weekend, and instead I gotta get more yarn. Hey Kelly, good morning. Karen, good morning. Yeah, Kay, it is the worst. I know it happens to all of us. So it started with the little pink scallop. But in all, I'm really happy with the blanket. I think it turned out really good with all the different colors. I didn't control anything. I just kind of let it flow. And towards the end, I knew I was not going to have enough. I told you guys last week, I was like, I'm going to play yarn chicken with this. I don't think I'm going to have enough. And I knew it was going to be really close. I didn't realize how close it was going to be. So I was using every single scrap that I could, and it still wasn't enough. So, anyhow, yeah, when you lose at Yarn Chicken, it's kind of a bummer. It's kind of a bummer. So, anyhow, that's kind of what I was working on this weekend. And since I was kind of bummed out, I'm like, I'm not going to work on any more fair projects this weekend. I want to do something else. So this is the English rose square that you guys saw me make this a while ago. And I had gotten this yarn from Herrschners, and I really liked the yarn, and I got it with the intent of making kind of Christmas type stuff. So anyhow, I thought, well, I have the red and green type colors, but I also had this blue colorway. And so I thought, I'm going to use this and come up with kind of a snow looking square. I know it doesn't look exactly like a snowflake, but I still think it's pretty. So it is the Herrschners Worsted Holiday Sparkle is what I'm using. This is the colorway Frosty. And so I have worked over the weekend and I just started making centers of squares. Okay. So you can see I've got a grip of them made and I alternated the colors. So I basically did like light blue in the center and kind of worked out from there. And then, all of the different combos. So here is the gray, the lighter whitish color. It's not a pure white. This is the pure white. So anyhow, I just made a grip of these little centers as I sat here moping about my baby blanket. And then what I did is I came back and I outlined it with the white that I had gotten from there, and then also the darker blue. So this is a separate skein. So all of the middles I'm doing with the frosty color. Then I got these two when I ordered because I thought they'd be good complementary colors. I also got some solid red. Hey, MJ, good morning. I also got some solid red. I'm stuck on the blanket. It's beautiful. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. That's going to be my baby blanket that I enter in the county fair. So that pattern is the whatchamacallit by Hooked on Sunshine. There's links on my link tree. Anyhow, white sparkle, and then this darker blue color is called Midnight. But I got all of this yarn from Herrschners with the intent of making Christmas type stuff. So it is the pattern I use for the baby blanket is called Whatchamacallit, and it's by Hooked by Sunshine. It's a really pretty pattern. So I've been weaving in my tails as I go, but basically I've been making these little centers. Now, as I'm working this yarn, one thing I really love about the Herrschners is they all have a little pull tab, which I think every yarn company should have these. So that makes it very easy, but you can see it's like a self-striping yarn. And honestly, guys, I don't know how I'm going to use these squares. I suspect I'll probably put them into a blanket. Um, the purple blanket I'm making for the fair, Jennifer, that one is the study of snow. The study of snow. Can you show the blanket again, please? I just joined as you're putting away. Oh, sure thing. So this is my baby blanket. I lost at Yarn Chicken. I was crying this morning because I literally need this much more yarn to finish my little scallop. You can see it there. And I had to order more yarn. So I was kind of like bummed about it, you know. But this is the blanket. So it starts in the middle. This is the very center of it. This is a baby blanket. And I'm going to put it in the baby blanket category. And then it works out from there. So it's worked from the center out. But you have these really beautiful, like, scallops that you do. My lap isn't big enough, y'all. So you have these really pretty, like, scallops that you do on it. And then you do a little back post action on it, which makes those pop forward. And then you do these little popcorns. These are actually half double popcorns. I made a video of how I made these because it is the first time I'd ever made. Um, Cindy said, "Yes, April. So frustrated with finding the yarn ends. I know. At least the yarn was still available. Hey, Belle. Good afternoon. Welcome in. So I'm not working on the baby blanket today, guys, but everybody wanted to see kind of where I was at with it. So hopefully, knock on wood, my yarn will be here this week and I'll get it finished. But I just let the color flow, and I don't have the yarn next to me. But the yarn is linked on the link tree, Paloma. You'll have to go look at the link tree. So click up here on my bio and then go into my profile, and you'll see the link there for this baby blanket. So feel free to check that out. But I did get the yarn off of Amazon, and I think it was called Fairyland, is the yarn, Fairyland. How many row repeat is it? I think it's a 22 row repeat for Naz, but don't quote me on that. The Hooked on Sunshine is a paid pattern, the whatchamacallit. And you guys know I don't read patterns. So what I did is I actually bought the video. So you can see right here, this is the repeat right here. So you can see each section kind of repeats up. And you start right here in the very center. So this is the center. This is like an applique that you do, or a crochet center. And then you have these sections that you do. So it's not too bad of a repeat. I can remember it after I get it going. After I get the first one, then I can kind of remember. But I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I think it's a 22 row repeat if I'm not mistaken. Um, well, it looks like you do knit though. That's exciting. I can't knit very good at all. I've been trying to learn. Uh, when you go to the link tree, you click right here on the little dog, and a bar will fly up the bottom, and then it'll say a little blurb about me and my crocheting and stuff. Look below that, and you'll see a link on my TikTok profile that says HTTPS link tree. And if you click on that, my link tree will open up, and it has all of the different patterns that I'm working on. And that one should be linked there. You'll see a picture of it, but it's called, um, I don't remember what I called it, some kind of baby blanket. You might have to scroll down a little bit because we are always are working on new projects. So as I'm working this blue and gray yarn, y'all, what I'm doing is I'm actually trying to use all the yarn that it comes with, but you can see it transitions in color. So like right here, it transitions from the light blue into the dark blue. So some of them I didn't have enough to do a full center, and I just do whatever I have, and then I'm joining once I get more of that. So in this case, And I have a bunch of these made. So eventually I'll outline these all with the white and then the midnight blue. Right now, I've just been kind of making the centers and working on those as I go. Um, but we're going to do a full square this morning. So let me just use up this blue really quick here. I'm going to do a magic ring. And the way that I do my magic ring, friends, is a little different than everybody else. I hold my yarn just like I'm going to normal crochet. I wrap my yarn around and I bring down a loop so that it's crisscrossed here in my hands. And I hold this between my middle finger and my thumb. Then what I do is I'm going to work a standing double crochet into this magic ring. So I wrap my yarn around twice. I go down into that ring. I also work over that tail. Okay, so I'm going under both loops and I grab up a loop. So now we have 3 loops on our hook. I wrap my yarn around and I go through twice, yarn over, and then yarn over and go through 2 loops again. So that becomes my first standing double. Then we need a total of 16 of these double crochets in the magic ring. So I add another 15. Now, as I mentioned, I'm not going to have enough yarn to finish this one. We're just trying to get ourselves here to the blue so I don't waste it. So let me snip this off and then we're going to do it all again. We're going to do it all again. Thank you for the follow. Welcome in, friends. I hope everybody had a great weekend. I probably don't even have enough for that. So I'm just going to add him to my little clippy guy. When I get to more of this blue color, I'll finish it off. So he's just going to kind of chill there. Okay, so now we're going to start an official one. Actually, you know what? Let's work this dark color blue around one of these. Let's use this white for the center. I'm trying to use everything as I go very strategically here. Um, I do better with videos reading patterns. Yeah, you guys know, Cheryl, I don't read patterns at all. So if there's not a video or I can do a diagram, but if it's like the text on the page, I don't read those. I'm challenged. Okay, so after I finish my very center, we're going to do another one of these in a little bit. But basically, guys, what I did is I did a magic ring. If you don't like doing the magic ring, do a chain of 3 or 4 here and work your way into this middle. Marsha, good morning. Then I worked 16 double crochets into the magic ring. Okay. Now, normally what we would do is work under these loops of the top of our stitches. And I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is work in between these posts. So you can see here, I end up with 16 of these little petals. The reason why I like doing this square, guys, you all know I like to also do the square that is the, I can't think of what it's called. My brain's not functioning this morning, y'all. I'm sure you're kind of gathering that. Bear with me here. These ones, what is this? Oh, sunburst. Sunburst. I like doing the sunburst square. Okay. And this is another Christmas blanket that I started this weekend with the sunburst square. But the thing with the sunburst square, and maybe some of you guys have experienced this, is when you do these puff stitches, they kind of take a long time to do. Hey, Nikki, welcome in. Good morning. They take a long time to do the puff stitches. You know what I mean? And um, when I do the English rose square, it works up a lot faster. What's the blue thing you have for? I have some that came with a kit, and I don't know what it's for. The this clip thing. Are you talking about the clip, Clancy? I use these to hold my squares, but these are actually for knitting. But they work great for crochet. They come in all different sizes. They're knitting holders. So you basically take when you're knitting and you need to take your hooks out, you can slide all your knit stitches along this and then clip it and it'll hold your knitting. But for me, what I do is I use them to hold my little granny squares when they're, like I've got them working in progress. And so you can see I get them off Amazon. They're linked on my link tree if you guys are interested, but they're knit stitch holders is what they are. So anyhow, this square I feel like works up a lot faster than the sunburst square. And so that's one of the reasons why I really like it. So normally with the sunburst square, um, your next row would be a puff stitch right here. And I don't know about you guys, but the puff stitch kind of takes a while to do and it can kind of be a little frustrating. So when I do this square, which is the English rose, it's just something I came up with a few months ago. I'm actually doing two together treble crochets. And so we're going to do two in each of the stitches, and I'm working them in between the post. I feel like when it works in between the post rather than on the top, it kind of just gives it a cooler effect in the middle that almost makes it look like a little starburst in there. So that's what I like to do. So I finished my center here, and we'll do another one of these from the start on the next square. But you can see we have 16 double crochets into the very center. Okay. So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with these two together treble crochets. Now, there's a couple different ways you can do this. I prefer to do a standing treble crochet. And the way I do this is I start with a slip knot on my hook. Now I'm going to work again in between the posts. So I'm going to ignore the stitch that's here on the top and I'm going to work right in between those two posts. So I wrap my yarn around twice, so I have a total of 3 loops on my hook. Then I go down into that stitch and I keep this tail secure the whole time, okay? Then I draw up a loop. So now we have 4 loops on our hook. I feel like this is interfering with seeing the stitches here. Let me move some of this. I've got too much stuff in my lap here. So we have 4 loops on our hook. Now I'm going to yarn over and pull through 2 and yarn over and pull through 2. Now I'm just going to hold this at this point. Okay, we're going to do 2 together treble crochets. So what I need to do next is I'm going to start another treble crochet. So I wrap my yarn around twice, go back down into that same exact stitch and pull up a loop. So now we're back to 4 loops. This here is the starting loop. You ignore that, okay? Yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. So once we get to 3 loops here on our hook, we're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 of those stitches. Squish it up. Chain 2, to move to the next space. Okay, so then I'm again going to work 2 together treble crochets. Now, old schoolers like me, we call it a treble crochet. A triple crochet, guys, is the same exact thing. Okay, triple and treble, interchangeable term. So again, wrap my yarn around twice, right down into that space and grab up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And at this point, when you get to 2 loops, we're going to hold this. Thank you for the rose. Vicki, good morning. Welcome in. Now we're going to start our treble crochet once again. So wrap our yarn around twice, right back down in. This is stitch number 2. So once again, we have our 3 loops on our hook, the starting loop here on the right, 2 of the treble crochets that are unfinished, 3 loops total. We're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 of these loops. And then we're going to chain 2. And now once again, move to the next space, working in between the post and repeat our treble crochet. You want to make sure that you're counting these stitches. At the end, we should end up with a total of 16 of these little petals that are worked into our center. And we're just going to keep working that all the way around. Hey, Jen, good morning. Welcome in, everybody. Hope everybody had a great weekend. This morning, I'm working on a little winter square. I know it seems like it's too early to be thinking about winter, but some of these projects take me a while. So I feel like if I don't get started on some of this, oh, I just messed up. Frogging already. April's struggling this morning, guys. I needed more coffee or something. While I'm working on these treble crochets for our little flower, I have to tell a little diesel story. So, this weekend, you guys know, even on the weekends, I get up pretty early. Although I will say yesterday I slept in till like 6:30, which is kind of a record for me. So anyhow, Sunday morning, I'm up and it's like, I don't know, it's like 15 till 6 or something. All right. So Mo's up with me, of course, and Diesel's up, and Mr. Wheeler was getting his coffee. And all of a sudden, Diesel's outside and he's barking, 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 all these barkity bark, bark, barks. I thought, oh Lord, what did he find now? Right? Did he find a snake? Like, he has a certain bark. It wasn't like a playful bark. It was a mom, you need to come here right now kind of bark. So anyhow, I finished making my coffee and he's still yapping away out there. And I go out on the front porch and he's over at the fence. We outside our front door here, we have a fenced in area for the dogs. Although I don't know why we bother because he just goes underneath the fence. Yes, Vicky, that was exactly it. Hey, Nicole, good morning. Welcome in. So, anyhow, of course, at this point, I just have my house shoes on, guys, and it's wet out there. Every morning we wake up and there's a lot of dew and stuff. So, I'm like, all right, I traipse across the yard. It's not that far. And I hang my head over the fence. He's barking at the fence, like there's something on the fence, near the fence, at the base of the fence. I look down, I don't see anything. And he is still he's just yapping with this hurry up mom, you need to come here now kind of bark. So I'm like, okay, fine. So I go back inside, I get my muck boots on because I don't want to be traipsing through the pasture in my house shoes. It'll get them all wet and soggy. I do have rubber soles on them, but anyhow, you get the point. So I put on my muck boots. I go back out there. I go outside the fence to where Diesel is. And I'm looking, 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 and he's intently barking at the fence. Again, I see absolutely nothing. There's nothing. I'm like, dude, what are you barking at? So I kind of lean down closer. There is a locust on the fence. You know, one of those flying bugs, the little locust that makes the little rattling noise? Yeah, y'all, there's one of those on the fence. That is what he's losing his mind over and protecting us is this little locust that's on the fence. I was like, I guess I don't know if he's never seen one. Apparently it's a big bad bug. Anyhow, that is how my Sunday started with Diesel, silly little guy. So don't worry, y'all. We are safe here in Alabama from all the locusts. Diesel has us under full protection. Hallelujah. I was worried. Carrie says, good morning. I love the fall pumpkin blanket you shared. That was so cute. Wasn't it cute? Carrie, I shared that video of the gal that made that pumpkin blanket. It looks like it's a lot of work. It looks like a lot of puff stitches on that, but it sure had a cool effect going on with that blanket. Okay, so here we are to our last stitch in between the post. Once again, I'm working two treble crochets together. Paloma said my dog did that with a cicada when she was little. Yeah, that's what it was, a little cicada locust. We really don't get them too much this time of year where we're at. They're usually more down by the river, but I guess one made it up here. So once you have your two trebles unfinished, you have three loops here on top, yarn over, pull through all three. Once again, we need to chain two. And now I'm going to join with the slip stitch, and I join all the way over here into the very first space. So technically, this was my first stitch here, but see how this stitch has kind of a bigger loop there? What I have found is if I join into that stitch, then it makes this a really big space. And so I actually come all the way over here to the space and then I join with a slip stitch. Okay. And then I snip off my yarn. So this is the very center now of our square. And I kind of just give it a little pull and get it into shape, kind of has a little curl on it. It flattens out once we add the next two rows. Okay. So once we have our center here, then we're going to come back with our white yarn. And we're going to turn this from a round shape into a square shape. And the way that we do this, Pam, it's a video that I shared on my page. I don't remember the gal who did it. I don't remember her name, but it's a really pretty blanket that she made with the pumpkins, and the pumpkins are like dimensional. It kind of looks cool. So I don't know how when I share a video how that gets to you guys. I know some people see it, some people don't. I don't know how all that works. So the way that we're going to do this is we're going to put taller stitches in the corners. In this case, we're going to put treble crochets, two treble crochets, chain two, two treble crochets. Then as we work along the side, we're going to use shorter stitches. So we're going to do three double crochets. Then in the very center, we do two half doubles. And as we get bigger, as we head back out to this corner, we need to get taller on our stitches. So we'll go back to doing the three double crochets, and then we will do two. It was Mushy that made it. Yeah, so check out Mushy's page, I guess, if you want to see that blanket. Back to the corner, we have our two trebles, chain two, and then two trebles. So that is how we're going to work the sides of this square. So just by changing the size of these stitches, it'll make it become more of a square shape. Then for the very outer row, the reason why I like this square so much is for the outer row, we do a granny stitch. So in the corner, we do three double crochets, chain two, three double crochets. Then working into each of the spaces, we just do our little granny cluster of three double crochets. So what I like to do with these squares is I will actually make a modern granny blanket, and I will incorporate these squares into the blanket itself. That way I don't have to make hundreds of these squares. I can make some as an accent, and it turns out really cool looking. So as you'll remember, we did a total of 16 double crochets into the middle here. Then we came back and we did our two together treble crochets, and we did 16 of those. So what we need to do now is we need to identify our corner spaces. So I'm going to ask y'all to do a little math this morning. If we take 16 stitches and divide it by 4, because a square has 4 sides, we end up with 4 of the treble stitches for each side. So anytime you're working on a square, if you want to go off and get a little crazy and try to make your own square, you can just try to make it divisible by 5. It'll make your job easier. Excuse me, divisible by 4. It'll make your life easier as you go to turn it into a square. So maybe you have 20 stitches around. In that case, 20 divided by 4, you would have 5 of the little clusters on each side. Queen, good morning. Welcome in. Did you guys see the new stickers that I did? Hope you like those. Hopefully they're showing up. So I'm going to pick a space and I'm going to put a little stitch marker to indicate a corner. Now, one thing I like to do is I always like to put my corner over the tail. So wherever the tail is, that is where I put my first stitch marker. And the reason why is I like to weave this tail in at the base of this stitch, and the corner has 4 stitches. So it gives me the most space to weave in and hide that tail. Okay, so I try to be a little strategic about where I place my stitch markers. So this is our corner. Now, as you remember, we did 16 divided by 4 is 4. So we need 4 of these in between each of these stitch markers. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I put in another stitch marker. 1, 2, 3, 4. Another stitch marker. 1, 2, 3, 4. And our last stitch marker. And if I mathed everything out correctly, and if I know how to count, I should have 4 between the last one. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I do. So now very easily we can see where we want the corners of this square to be. Okay. So now I'm going to get my white yarn and we're going to begin working this round shape into a square. Now, once again, I start with a standing treble crochet. I begin with a slip knot on my hook. If you do not feel comfortable with a standing treble, you most certainly could do chain of 4 here if you prefer. You could do like a stacked single. Either of those, any of those would work. Okay, so Pop out my stitch marker into the corner. I'm going to work my treble crochet. I wrap my yarn around twice. So we have a total of 3 loops on our hook. Now, very important, you can see I'm holding the tail of my yarn with my fingers, my thumb and my pointer finger here as I wrap these around. If you do not secure your tail, what'll happen is it spins off and you're back down to 1 loop. So this is very important when you're learning to do your standing stitches to secure that tail. Okay, so here we go again. Wrap my yarn around twice, 3 loops. Now I go down into that space. Now my hand is at a weird angle. I can't crochet like this. So I twist my hand forward and now I hold the tail with Mr. Thumb over here. Okay, and I keep that again very secure. That way we don't lose these loops. So you can see I have 3. Then I yarn over and I pull up another loop. So now we have 4 loops as well. Now we're going to yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. So that is a standing treble crochet. Yes, I am on YouTube, Andrea. My handle over there is Wheeler 8 Acres. We're actually live on YouTube this morning as well. There's people watching over there. And of course, here on TikTok. So my handle is, did I just say that? Wheeler 8 Acres. You can find me over there. When you look at my profile on YouTube, there's a category that says videos, there's one that says shorts, and then there's one that says live. So this morning, because I'm live, you could rewatch a replay of this over on the live tab. I know Mr. Thumbsticker. I have not made that, Amy. Mr. Thumb is an important little critter here in my world. Okay, so now we need another treble crochet. Wrap my yarn around twice and then go right back down in and then do another treble crochet. Now this is the corner space, so I'm going to chain 2, scoot your stitches over if you need to, and then we're going to do 2 more treble crochets right into that corner space. Again, this is our tallest stitches as we work the square. Now, again, we're working over here towards this corner where I've got my stitch marker. Into the next space here, we're going to get a little shorter with our stitches, and we're going to do 3 double crochets. Now, usually when I make this square, people will ask, how come it's different amounts? In the corners, you do 2, then you do 3, then you go back to 2. And the reason why is when I was doing this square, I tried doing 3 in the corners, 3 and 3, and tried doing 3 here. And what happened is my square would not lay flat. It was really rippling a lot. So I just reduced the number of stitches. So you got to kind of do some, remembering. But once you make a bunch of these, they're very easy to do. And I like it because it works up so much faster than the sunburst, but it kind of gives the same effect, right? This is a sunburst square. I don't have these finished yet. They're in the works. But normally I would do my double crochet around this now and turn this into a square. The benefit is for me is I can make these treble crochets a lot faster than I can make these puff stitches. And I can make these stitches a lot faster than I can make these what are these popcorns? So it just works a lot easier and faster for me. I like the look of both though. Okay, so now here we go into the very center. Now we're going to do 2 half doubles. And I do need to make a full tutorial of how to make this square. I keep saying that. And then all these other squirrels run by. And I do need to do this. Yeah, Betty, we did this a while back. This is called the English rose pattern. You guys have seen me do this a number of times, but I'm now making like winter squares out of it. So in the very center, this is 2 half doubles. Now we're getting taller as we head back out to this corner. So we're going to resume now with our 3 double crochets. The yarn, Paloma, on the red squares that I'm doing, these ones, um, the center is Red Heart White, and then I love this yarn Cranberry that I really like, and then all the variegated yarn is off of a skein, and it is Red Heart Bitty Stripes, the new Christmas yarn. So I wanted the centers to be kind of consistent, And I thought it would look kind of cool if I did all the variegated on the outer row of it and just kind of tie it all together. So every square kind of looks different-ish, I guess. And I think they'll look nice when I sew them all together. I'll probably make a blanket for donation with these also, like a Christmas blanket. But yeah, that's that new yarn. It's been out for a while now, but it's the Biddy stripes that I got a while back. Okay, so now we're here to the corner. I'm going to pop out my stitch marker once again. And now we need to do our treble crochets back into the corner here. So here in the corner, we need 2 treble crochets. This is again once again our tallest stitch that we're doing. Love those. Thank you, Andrea. Is it Andrea or Andrea? I never know how to pronounce those. Um, Vicky says, I love how you did that color scheme. Yeah, I think it turned out kind of nice. Like I said, I was working on the baby blanket this weekend and I got frustrated because I lost at Yarn Chicken and now I got to wait for more yarn to come. And I was like, "Huh, I'm not going to work on county fair stuff. I'm going to work on some other stuff." So this weekend, I started working on all these. You can see how many of these squares that I have started. So basically, when I do these snow squares, they're going to be all different. Oh, thank you so much, Andrea. I appreciate that. Um, each one has kind of a different center and all different colors. And you can see I was kind of just making the centers. Now I just have to go back and outline them all. But I'm doing one from start to finish today. Okay, so we are done with our corner here, and you can see we're starting to turn into a square. So now we're going to start working on our next side here. Into the next space, we need 3 double crochets. Now into the very middle here, we need 2 half doubles. And as we head back out to the corner, this will be the corner space here. This one we get a little taller. We need 3 half doubles. Excuse me, I totally said that wrong. 3 doubles. My words are all messed up today, guys. I'm having a little bit of a brain fog, if you can't tell. I'm struggling today. I don't know why I feel so foggy today. I'm not really sure. I think my iron is good. Patricia, I think I'm going to make a blanket with these squares, but I'm not really sure yet. I'm pretty sure it'll be a blanket. Now into the corner, Tony Ann, welcome in. Yes, words are hard, Jennifer, and some days they are more hard than others. Harder than others? I don't know. All the things. So in the corner, we need 2 treble crochets, chain 2, and then 2 treble crochets. Now along the side here, we need 3 doubles. Yes, Queen, I am on the struggle bus today. I was yesterday too. I don't know why. I just feel kind of foggy this week. And I've only had like one sip of my coffee, so I'm sure that doesn't really help. Yes, Bella, I need some more coffee. Hang on, I'm going to take a drink of my coffee. Maybe that'll help. Cheers, everybody. Mm. Thank you for the heart puffs. Appreciate all the support this morning, especially on my foggy day. Tony Ann said I was in the struggle bus all weekend. I know, it's kind of weird, right? I don't think it's just me. Um, I'm in the same boat. I feel like I'm still recovering from the move-in day on Memphis. Oh, I saw your picture, Kelly. You got your son all moved in at the school. That's very exciting. Your house is going to be quiet again. Karina says headache medicine causes brain fog. Oh, Rita, good morning. Yeah, I don't know why I'm so foggy today, you guys. I don't know. I kind of felt like that this weekend. This weekend, I kind of felt blah. And then I lost at Yarn Chicken on my baby blanket. Did you guys see? Not everybody saw. Let me show. This is how much I have left of my blanket that I had to buy more yarn. Where is it at? I was disappointed. I was disappointed to say the least. I had to buy more. This is where I ended, right here. And I only need this much. Don't you hate that? It's so disappointing. It's such a small little stretch. It's like maybe 14 inches of yarn. I scrounged everywhere, guys. I used every scrap that I had. I have more on order, but I literally have that much. I couldn't finish my blanket. But I do think my little ruffle turned out cute. I think it turned out really cute. What do you think? It's nice, huh? This is such a pretty pattern. I really dig this pattern. Really pretty. This pattern is by Hooked on Sunshine. Hooked on Sunshine. It's called Whatchamacallit. Yeah, it was disappointing. So anyhow, Maggie was on live. I was working on the baby blanket. I ran out of yarn, and it kind of got me like bah humbug, you guys. I was so set on getting a county fair project finished, you know? I know the pink with the yellow. It's a really pretty yarn. So anyhow, to my story of having to buy more yarn, okay? When I bought it off Amazon, I bought 2 4-packs, so I had 8 skeins. Well, you guys can see I only need like 14 inches. So, of course, I had to buy another 4 skeins. It was like 20 something bucks for 4 skeins. It's not a cheap yarn. And so then I was like, well, why would I buy only 4 skeins? Because what am I gonna do with the other 3 skeins? Like, I guess I could make a scarf or something, but I was just sitting here thinking, like, what am I gonna do with the other skeins? You know, like, I wanna be able to use it, and I like to kinda have a plan when I buy my yarn. I know you guys think that's kinda crazy because I do buy yarn sometimes just to buy yarn, but with this particular yarn, because it's a baby yarn, I'm like, I need to have something to do with it, right? Like, I need to have some kind of a plan. So if I use like, I think it measures like 40 inches, Jody. That's the other thing. I thought about frogging all those rows out, but the thing is, oh, look, factory not just in time, y'all. How about that? That was good timing. Something is working right today, other than my brain. Um, so anyhow, I said, oh, forget it. I went ahead and I bought 8. I bought 2 packs of it because I figured, well, what I'll do is this baby blanket was like 40 inches, and I like my baby blankets to be a little smaller. At least if I buy 8 skeins, then I would have like 7.5 skeins in my mind, I'm thinking, right? If I use part of it, um, then I could have like at least enough to do something with, right? So anyhow, because the other thing I was thinking is, I know you guys are going to think this sounds crazy, but I think this yarn would be really, really pretty as a little hexagon cardigan for a kid. Don't you think it would be cute? Like, oh yeah, Heart Learning said a sweater and hat set. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I think it would look really pretty as a hexagon cardigan. So anyhow, I have 7.5 skeins essentially after I'm done with my baby blanket to do something with. So anyhow, that was my plan over the weekend when everything was not working. Okay, I'm going to switch to the midnight blue color now. The only thing is the yarn has wool in it. So that's the only thing that like makes me like kind of like nervous about using it for like a baby blanket or something, you know? Um this baby blanket I'm not going to give to anybody. It's just going to go in the county fair. But there is a category in the county fair that is baby other item. And I was thinking maybe next year, if I use the same yarn, I could make a cardigan for a baby or like a kid, right? And put it into the county fair. So, anyhow, I feel all right with buying 8. Whoa, beautiful flowers. Thank you so much for the support. I appreciate that. Okay, guys. So now we're to the very last row. I'm using the midnight blue color. Again, I get this yarn from Herrschners. This is the color that we're using. Herrschners Worsted Sparkle. Of course, the last round was white. And this is the colorway Midnight. Really, really pretty. So I just feel like this kind of ties it together. Cabria, the baby yarn is called, I'm always drawing a blank on that yarn. I don't have any of it anymore because I used it all. Oh, you know what? I've got the label. Hang on. Hold that thought. I save all my labels. This is how much yarn I've crocheted this year, guys. All my labels. What do you think? Have I been busy? Have I been a busy girl? This one is the baby yarn. Fairyland. Fairyland. I bought the 100-gram balls. There's a link on the link tree. Uh, I used it's going to be like 8 1/4 skeins, Paloma, but I think it's for a normal baby blanket. I wouldn't make it that big. I wouldn't make it bigger than like I try to aim for 30 to 36 inches. So I probably would have done only, I wouldn't have repeated that final row. I probably would have only used like 7. But this was the yarn, Fairyland, and the color is always covered up when you buy it. They have like, I think it was letter B is the color that I purchased. So anyhow, if you look on Amazon, it's called Fairyland for the baby blanket. Yeah, I wonder how many miles I've already crocheted this year. Does anybody else do this? Does anybody else save their little skein wrappers? I know Passionate. Oh, look, some glasses wiper. That shouldn't be in there. That's great. I'm gonna pull that out. That's a good find this morning. You never know what you're gonna find in my little nest. Okay. So now, hey Maggie, welcome in. Good morning. Maggie, I was telling the friends this morning I was working on the baby blanket when you were on live this weekend. And this is where I ran out of yarn. I lost at Yarn Chicken. I was right here to finish, and look at how much I have left that I need. That much. So disappointing. So disappointing. It's maybe like a 14-inch stretch that I need. It's like from here to here. It's so sad. I had to buy more yarn. Anyhow, that's what we're talking about is my having to buy more yarn. Happens to all of us. The struggle is real. Okay, so the final row of this square, guys, is very easy. All we're going to do is a granny stitch all the way around. So into each of the spaces, I'm going to do 3 double crochets. And I really like this square because it incorporates very nice with, um, whenever I do the modern granny, I can kind of incorporate those in. Sherilyn said, I'm going to have to save my labels next year to see how much I used. Passionate Kelsey, let me fangirl on Passionate Kelsey a little bit because y'all know I love her. She does it every month, when she tallies up how much yarn she used, and then she makes a little vlog of how much she used. I do mine for the entire year because I don't have time to be making a video once a month for how much yarn I use. But I think it's a lot probably that I use every month. I do a lot of crocheting. Andrea says, I save my labels with my project just in case. Yes, that's a good idea too. At least till you get it finished. And some people will take the label and they'll cut the care instructions off. I don't know if this has, oh yeah, see, like this says machine wash and dry. They'll include this with the content. If they're gifting it, they'll gift a part of the label. That way, whoever receives it can see what all was in the yarn and everything, and the care instructions. So I think that's pretty cool too. Pretty cool idea. Shirley Girl, maybe that's where I saw Shirley Girl. I think you said that on the last live that you do that. I remember seeing somebody said it. When it's a gift, I will give them the care instructions. Yes, Vicky. So that's a very cool way to do it too. Um, I also save a tiny strand if I can and tape it to the label. That's a good idea too, so you know what the colorway looks like. I try to make little color booklets. I don't know if I have one here next to me. Let me see if I can reach this. I don't know if this is one of them. Um, so this is what I do to keep track of my colors. I know I'm a huge dork when it comes to yarn, you guys, but I get these little notebooks from Amazon, and I made these cards at work. They're plastic. It's kind of hard to see. I have to turn it this way. I put the name on it. So this is my Red Heart Super Saver binder. And then as I actually have a lot more of these. I haven't been very good about saving my colors. But that way, when I am going to look for colors to purchase, because, um, pardon me, I don't have yarn stores that are close to me. Um, Anyhow, I just try to save out a little sprig of it, I guess you could say, and then that way I have it when I go to yarn shop. In particular, like with the pinks, right? It's really hard to match up the colors that you're doing. So what I would do is if I'm trying to, like, let's say for example, I was trying to match a yarn to this skein right here. See how this is a variegated? I would come to my color deck and I would look to see what colors match up with this, right? If I'm trying to find a solid to go with it. Puzzle piece. One second here, friends. And that's how I do it. But it just makes it so that I can match those colors up better and then find a good match. And so that's why I do those. And I have it for a lot of the brands that I use all the time. I have it for Big Twist, Red Heart, Karen, Simply Soft, a lot of those I have. So anyhow, that's how I keep track. But you could definitely attach it to your yarn as well. Um, yeah, it's like a color swatch card. It's the same thing. Yeah, the dye lots change, but most of the yarns I use are pretty close. I use a lot of 4-weight acrylic, and so I use Red Heart. Uh, I like one of the new ones I've just started using is Premier Basics. I don't know if I have a card for Premier Basics yet. Um, and then I love this yarn, Karen Simply Soft. I don't know, I've got a number of them. And just as I use them, I try to save out a little swatch of it. That way I always kind of have the color. That way, if I'm doing online shopping, there's a big difference between cranberry and like the bright red. There's a noticeable difference. Okay, so in the corners, again, just your regular granny stitch. Kelly, I made the cards. I made the cards. Three double crochets, chain two, three double crochets. I typed them all and then I cut them out at our work with the little holes. Yeah, a different tone. That's exactly it, Vicky. Yeah, I work for a printing company in real life, and crocheting is my hobby. So we're like a wholesale. I do mostly wholesale, not a lot of retail sales. But we have it's called a CNC router, and a lot of times people use those for cutting different types of materials, but we use it for cutting plastics and like PVCs and stuff like that for point of purchase displays. And so that's what I did. I used the little material is called styrene. It's a plastic, and I typed up all the little. It took me hours to type up all the little names, and then I had them route out the little dots so I could put the yarn through it. So I feel like it works out really good. So I don't know. You guys know me. I'm kind of the next level crazy in a good way. I'm just passionate about crochet and yarn and all that stuff, you know? Okay, so almost done with our third side here. This part goes fast. Right now, guys, I'm just doing the granny stitch. We're just doing three double crochets into each of the spaces. And then in the corners, I'm doing three double crochets, chain two, and three double crochets. Oh, you're fine, Kelly. No worries. I understand y'all are working. I gotta be doing that today too. So I feel you. Hopefully my brain fog lifts a little bit. I'm probably not making a lot of sense today. I feel words are hard today, guys. Words are hard. I don't know why I'm so foggy, but all week today I've been. Yesterday I was foggy at work, and today I'm foggy again. So who knows? It happens. Okay, almost there. Almost there. This dark is probably kind of hard to see the stitches. You need a brain fog or words hard sticker. I know I do, Maggie. I think a lot of us suffer from that. I don't know if it's from having a um what is that called that I have? Oh, I have there's a term for it. I can't think of what it's called. Lordy. I have RA. I have technically what's called undifferentiated connective tissue disorder, but I have markers of lupus and I have markers of autoimmune. Thank you. Yes, I have an autoimmune. I think it comes from autoimmune, is where I think that brain fog comes from. Yeah, it's like when you get a flare up. Same thing. I think Maggie gets flare ups too from having fibro, where you have. Um, I think that's what it comes from. So I am going to do a um, invisible join on this. Okay. So what I do is I pull my tail through when I end here. Okay. So you can kind of see this is the top of that stitch here. This yarn is coming through the middle of that stitch. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on my darning needle. I like to do an invisible join on these, and it makes it really nice as I'm joining these squares together. Now, the first stitch here, I'm going to skip this one. And the reason why is I'm going to replace it with a new loop. Okay. So I go to the second stitch here and I go under both bars, both the front loop and the back loop, and I pull my tail through. Then I come back around and I'm going to go back into the very center of that stitch that I came out of. And if I also turn my loop on the side, my work on the side, you can see there's a back loop there. There's another little loop there. I like to go through that loop as well. Then I hop all the way over here with my needle and I go down through the side of this stitch to hide my tail. And I pull it closed. Then I kind of give it a little shimmy and shake. It's hard to see with this dark blue. But basically, it makes it so that there is no knot. It's a beautiful finished edge. That way, when I go to join these together, we have a nice clean edge to work with. My eyelashes hurt today. How does hair hurt? I know. It's the weirdest things that come up when you have an autoimmune. It's really hard to explain to those that don't have it. I really think the not being able to form words thing is part of it because there's days where I just really struggle. And then I'm going to weave in this tail and I'm going to go back and forth a minimum of 3 times. And I'm trying to split the fibers here as I weave in this tail. Okay, so we're just kind of hiding it here strategically under the corner, giving this a nice finished edge. I try to weave in this metallic strand, but it becomes a little difficult. So at some point, I just kind of snip off that metallic when it starts to come out of my needle. And I just try to weave it in as best I can. And then brain fog is definitely a symptom of autoimmune. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Maggie. I think all weekend I felt foggy, and yesterday I felt foggy. Today I feel foggy. I wasn't even sure I was going to go on the live this morning because I was like, I'm not making any sense. What is that little guy? Thank you so much. What a cutie. Thank you, Nikki. Okay, so now I'm going to weave in my very last tail here, and I'm going to do the same thing. I just weave this down into the base and kind of hide this tail down here. I'm going to weave that rest of that in later. But this is what our square looks like now, friends. So you can kind of see this is this pattern. I really need to make a full tutorial of this. I keep he was a cute potato. I know. Um I keep saying I need to make a full tutorial of this. The reason why I like this square, this square is the English rose. I came up with this a few months ago. And the other square I really like to make, you guys know, is the sunburst square. So here's some sunburst squares I was also working on this weekend. The thing that I have found is when I work the sunburst squares, they take me longer to produce because the puff stitches take me longer, and then the bobble stitches on the outside take me longer. And so this square kind of gives the same effect without having to do the puff stitch. With a lot of us don't like the puff stitch, and also eliminates that bobble. The other thing I really like about this square is it can be matched up with the modern granny blanket that I make. And so that's the one reason why, or a few of the reasons why I really like doing this. But I do love the sunburst too. Yeah, Liliana, I totally do as well. And you guys know I make those. So I just kind of mix it up in between and do other stuff. So there are two of the squares. Now, this weekend, guys, on Sunday, while Maggie was crocheting, I was crocheting too. And I just was making lots of centers that all just need to be outlined, and each one has kind of a different color in the middle. So when I make this blanket, it's going to be all different colors, okay? And then I'll sew them all together. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do, but that's kind of what I've been working with. I like puff stitches and I like popcorn. I like the bobble. I like all of that. Mama Wheeler, I tried to gift you a subscription this morning. It won't let me. So I'm sorry you're going to be stickerless. I don't know what's going on with it. It was doing that on Maggie's live too, where you couldn't gift subscriptions. So anyhow, hopefully they'll get it fixed soon. Here is the yarn that I'm using. This is from Herrschners, and it is the Holiday Sparkle. And this is the colorway Frosty. So what I'm doing is I'm pulling out just little clumps of it to make the centers of this square. It's because of the upcoming change. Jen, do you think they're going to leave it off where you can't gift it like for a while? It's kind of crazy, right? Look at the pull tag. This is the most exciting part of this yarn, you guys. I love Herrschners because they give us the little pull tab. So, Mama Wheeler, I always gift her a subscription. Okay, so that we're done with that. So now the thing is, as I'm doing this yarn, guys, you can see I had the center already made. Then I did the outer blue out of my skein that looks like this. Okay, so if I pull out the remainder of this yarn to get to our next color, this right here is not enough to do a full around the center. It's not enough for this. But what it is big enough for is for a very center. So that's how I'm using this yarn. I'm really foggy today, Mom. I'm like I'm not making sense, and I'm people are so sweet to me because they're like she's really not functioning well this morning. Shanna's husband is here. Welcome in. Welcome in, disturbed one. So anyhow, we're going to do the outer flower with one of these. Then we're going to do a center, okay, with this little bit that I have left over. So that's how I'm trying to use up all of the yarn. So to make a very center, I start with a magic ring. Now, of course, you could do a chain of 3 or a chain of 4 here. That would totally be fine as well. So the way I do my magic ring is I yarn over and I bring down a loop, and then I have a little crisscross loop that points off to the right. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a standing double crochet. Thank you so much, Nikki. Wow. All sorts of cuteness happening this morning. I'm going to put a standing double into this magic ring. I wrap my yarn around twice. Now I'm not through the magic ring at all this morning, guys. I'm above this. Okay, I'm working on the working yarn. Now I'm going to go through the magic ring under the tail and draw up a loop. So now we have 3 loops on our hook. Yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. Uh, I am in menopause. The brain fog is real too. I keep thinking I'm going to hit menopause. I turned 50 this year, but no end in sight, I will tell you. Every month, like clockwork, here we go. If y'all know what I mean. Now we need a total of 16 double crochets into the magic ring. One thing that's important when you're working over your magic ring, make sure you're also working over your tail. I just kind of weave this along and go over both of those. That way, when we get ready to close up our magic ring, it'll cinch up nice and be beautiful. Jennifer says, I do not miss that visitor. Yeah, mine is, we're still going, guys. We're still going. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. Now I'm going to join with a slip stitch, and I actually join right into the space in between with my slip stitch. I don't try to go into the top of my double crochet. I just hop over, and now I'm going to snip off, and we have made another center. I like that new little sunflower sticker. It feels so happy. I think it's a sunflower. Is it a sunflower I made? I don't even remember. Let me see. I got to do it now. I was feeling creative this weekend. Yeah, it's a sunflower. I thought it would look nice with the little "You Are Loved" sticker. So cute. And then, of course, I had to make the lizard. Lizard, 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 lizard. Okay. Weaving in my tail here. Yes, Arlene, that is exactly it. Shauna said she finished her queen size Afghan last night. I have, you guys know I have my little cheers button. You know this little cheers button? I swear there's one cut. Somebody is going to make one that's lizard. I can see it coming, right? It's just a matter of time. I used to have one that sat on my desk in Arizona, gosh, years ago when they first came out. They were at Staples and it said that was easy. Somebody had bought it for me. They put it on my desk. I'm like, okay. Lizard, lizard, lizard. That's how I feel. I keep telling myself I don't need any more yarn. And then I'm like, lizard, get some more yarn. Lizard, get some more yarn. Lizard. The struggle is real. Too funny. Too funny. I lost my tail. Did everybody have a good weekend? Oh my gosh, the baby deer are coming in hot and heavy, you guys. There was 4 baby deer yesterday. The twins came in at 8 o'clock yesterday morning. I don't know if it's 8 o'clock yet. I haven't seen them yet. And they came in, then another mom brought her baby in, and then in the afternoon, another mom brought her little fawn in. They have their little polka dots on them. They are so, so cute. Yeah, Kelly, I put the videos on my Facebook. Not everybody watches the YouTube live. I try to timestamp it when I see the babies in the comments. I try to put a little timestamp so you can go back and rewind. It'll rewind for 24 hours on the YouTube live. So I try to do that, but I know not everybody's on it. So then when the little babies come in, I try to extract out a little clip, you know. Hi, my name is Yarlene, and I'm a yarnaholic, right? I am too, Arlene. You know. I lost one of my stitch markers during that whole thing. Okay, so again, I have this much blue left. I'm going to go ahead and start another center. I'm just trying to use up my yarn, guys, as I'm working this variegated yarn. But what I think I'm going to do is I think I'm going to incorporate these squares into a modern granny blanket, in which case I will just let the amigurumi, let the variegated kind of flow as I'm making that blanket. So I'm going to have to play around with it and see, but I think at some point we're going to do the modern granny incorporating in these squares. I think for tomorrow, I didn't we'll have to see how it goes with my brain fog. If I'm feeling up to it tomorrow, I will try to sew together that pillow. I think that's what I'm going to try to do tomorrow. If I have the brain capacity. So I don't have enough to finish a full center. I'm just going to save out this little piece and then I'll join in when I get more of this color. But my yarn has changed now to the dark blue color. And I just keep making up these little centers. So what do you say? Do we want to do gray center? I just keep these on my hook, and as I am using them, with the colors, I just pick a new one. So again, into the magic ring, I did 16 double crochets into that very center. Welcome in. Good morning, everybody. I'm working on these snow squares. So this one's going to be a little different. He's going to have a gray center, and then he's going to have a darker colored blue for this little snowflake part that we're going to do next. Okay. I have bunches of these that I've made up, and they all have kind of different colored centers just based on whatever yarn was coming off the skein. Okay. And I worked on these this weekend. So I'm just going to be kind of in the background. After I did my baby blanket, and because I was so foggy this weekend, I needed something that I didn't have to exert a lot of brain power, and that's what these squares are for me. Vicky, have a great day. Thanks for being on this morning. Have a terrific Tuesday. So now for this, I'm going to do a two together treble crochet. And I'm going to be working into the space. I'm not going to be working on the top of the stitch here, guys. So I wrap my yarn around twice. So I have 3 loops on my hook. I go down into that space and make sure you secure your tail. Draw up a loop. So we have 4 loops on our hook. Yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. Now we're going to hold this. Sherilyn, I think I'm going to make a blanket for donation for these, probably to send to one of the healthcare, like Sabre Healthcare, and like for the holidays. So it'll kind of, hey Viv, good morning. Debbie, I saw you there this morning. I don't know if I may have missed your comment. Sorry, y'all. I'm kind of foggy today, so I'm kind of struggling, but I appreciate everybody being here, hanging out. Um, this morning I'm working on this square right here. This is a square that I came up with. Liliana, I need to make a tutorial for this. I'll try to do one this weekend. A lot of people ask me about this square. I came up with this a couple months ago, and we first did it in a beautiful pink and gray color, and I called it the English Rose. You can actually go back on my YouTube, look for English Rose, and you can see how we started from the very beginning. Thank you so much for the support. I appreciate that. Um, and so anyhow, the English rose, but I need to make a full tutorial of this on TikTok. Anyhow, the reason why I like doing this square is because I can make this faster than I can do a sunburst square. I can whip these up really, really fast. And the reason why is because I'm not doing puff stitches. They take me a little longer, and I'm just doing essentially like double crochets and stuff instead of the bobble stitch. So I do like those, it gives a great look. Here's some that I'm working on. I worked on some this weekend that are the traditional sunburst. There'll be a blanket as well. Um yeah, my little hook minder is a little angel. This tells me what size hook I'm using. I'm using an I hook. I know you all are shocked. An I9, a 5.5 millimeter. Wheeler, is that K tape around your hook? Yeah, it's Coban. I wrap Coban around my hook. And the reason why I use Coban is because I use vintage crochet hooks. I like inline Susan Bakes hooks that were made in the USA. And I don't like the new hooks of today. So this is the hook that I use. I just wrap Coban around. You get this at Wally World, Walgreens, any pharmaceutical type store you can buy this stuff at. It's very cheap. When it gets grungy like this, it picks up the little fibers as I'm crocheting, but it doesn't bother me at all. And then I just wrap it around my hook. I can make it any size that I want. This one's actually not a Susan Bates. This is actually a Coates and Clark. But you can see right there, well, maybe you can't. It says made in the USA. The hooks of today are different. The Susan Bates. I don't like those. Um, did my did I freeze up here, or is it just my tablet that froze up? Hang on, let me exit and come back. Oh, that's weird. My TikTok froze on my tablet. Can you guys still see me? Let me try to close this. How do I close this? Let me restart here. Profile. Hang on, y'all. I can't see the comments if my tablet's not working. Yeah, it's still working. I can see it on my phone, but on my tablet where I watch, it's kind of weird. It's not I know, exit and come back, right? I can't see any comments. It's like acting weird. It's so strange. My whole screen is blank. I don't understand some days, you guys. Huh. Yeah, I know I'm good. I just can't see any comments, Jen. I can see them on my little screen, but it's too little. I can't see it. So anyhow, that's why I use Coban, guys. Maybe my tablet needs a restart or something. I tried force closing the app. Maybe this is a sign I should not be. Screen gesture off, turn on in settings. I don't want to turn on screen gesture. Let me try going home, following. So weird. It's just like the little dots are just spinning. Oh, well, at least you all can see me. I don't know why my tablet's not working. I spent good money on this iPad, y'all. It should be like have every bell and whistle. Maybe I need to update the app or something. Let me try that. Let me go to my app store. I can try to update it while it's even that is not working. Yeah. How do I close this thing? I can never remember. Hang on. Slide to power off. I'm gonna try to reboot. Thank you. Sorry, I'm just I'm kind of foggy today, guys. The struggle is real. I'm gonna try to reboot my tablet. There we go. I see an apple. That's a good sign. I see an apple. Anyhow, the stitch I'm doing right now today, guys, right now on this square is a two together treble crochet. I'm working this stitch. Okay, here we go. TikTok. I'm working this in between the post right here. So I'm ignoring the top of the stitch and I'm working this in between. Oh, Passionate Kelsey was the first thing that came up. Imagine that. Okay, we're back. Aha, I can see the comments again. Okay, so I'm going to work a treble crochet right in between these posts. Sorry, y'all. I lost y'all there for a second. I had to reboot my tablet. It was not happy. So I start one treble crochet, then I do not finish. Then I do another one. So we have two of them unfinished. So we have 3 loops on our hook. Then I yarn over and pull through all 3. Then I chain 2 to move to the next space. So right in between the space here again. Hey Kate, good morning. Again, we're going to start our treble crochet. Wrap my yarn around twice. So I have 3 loops on our hook, and then right back down in, grab up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2, and then holding. Okay, I'm not going to finish that stitch. Then we're going to make another one. Tess, yes, I always am fangirling over Kelsey. So then we do a second treble crochet. Again, do not finish it. So once we get to 3 loops here on top, we yarn over and pull through all 3, and then chain 2 to move to the next, and then we're going to repeat that again. So 2 treble crochets. Again, when you get to 2 loops, do not finish. You're just going to hold this. Wrap my yarn around twice, and then go right back down in and grab up a loop. So now we have our 4 loops. Ignore this one over here on the right. That was our starting loop. You can see the 4. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So here's the starting loop. 2 unfinished double crochets, total of 3 loops. Then we're going to yarn over and pull through all 3. Chain 2. Hey, Danny Lee, welcome in. We've been missing you. Hope all is well. April's Basement Crafting. Good morning. My name is April as well. I'm going to guess that you're a Gen Xer, April. I think that was a popular name for us Gen Xers. My dad actually named me. Um, my mom said, if we have a girl, you can name her anything you want. And so he chose the name April. And Wheeler is my nickname. Wheeler's my nickname by marriage because my husband's an off-roader. I don't think people are naming their kids April in this day and age, but I could be wrong. I mean, maybe it'll make a comeback. I think it was popular, and I was born in 75, so I think it was popular. What's this yellow doing here? What's that yellow fuzz on my yarn? Get off there. Uh, we had some people out on medical leave, so my workload increased, and I've had so many meetings. I feel that, Danny Lee. I feel that. Our office has been really busy too. So, you guys know I'm in the printing industry, and fall is a really busy time of year. And I know everybody's like, well, fall is not here yet, but I'm literally printing stuff for Halloween right now. I am literally printing stuff for Halloween. That's what's going on. So, the big companies that have their you know what together, they are already starting to print their graphics for the fall season. Now, there, of course, are those stragglers that don't have theirs together, and they will wait till the day before Halloween to print their stuff. But most of the customers I work with are very far ahead. They have to get it into their sites for display for the coming season. So, and I had a really big order come in. I get one every fall for Halloween. I get one 4 times a year. It's a seasonal thing. They decorate. They have 22 locations across the United States that I do work with, and I print big graphics for them. And yeah, Danny Lee said, I used to work retail. Halloween stuff started showing up in our back room months in advance. Exactly, exactly. And all that has to be produced. So in August, we kind of, June and July are kind of slower months for us in Arizona with the printing, just because it's so hot. There's not a lot of like conventions and trade shows and that kind of stuff going on. There's just not a lot of events. But I will tell you, it's definitely going to be picking back up here for me. So there might be some days where I have to hop off earlier than normal because I got to go to work early. If I've got a lot of stuff going on. So this past week and yesterday, I got all the payroll done yesterday, so that's good. I have to do payroll. I kind of wear a lot of hats at our company, guys. I do a lot of like graphic sales and stuff, but um, I really do a lot of different stuff. So there's another center made, and I'm probably not going to add another row to this. I'm just going to add this to my little clippy guy. I love these little clips. I should weave in my tails. All of these I've been weaving in the tails. Look how disciplined I've been, y'all. I was such a good girl this weekend when I was making these. Oops, that one hopped right back off. Aren't these little clips great for these squares? Staying organized. That one's in the wrong spot. I love to be organized like this. It helps keep me knowing what's going on, you know? I really like this dark blue color, this midnight color. Isn't it pretty? My mom, when I was talking to her over the weekend, I was talking to her Sunday. She said, "I I wouldn't think blue would be for like a winter color. I wonder why they called it for winter, because it's called Holiday Sparkle the yarn." And I said, "Well, I think it's because it's like snow, like frosty." Yeah, Maggie, you need some of these clips for sure with all your squares that you do. Um, Even with the it might work good even for the donation blankets, the community blankets, Maggie. It might be good because you could organize them up. They have different sizes too. You can see I've got several different sizes here. This one's, I just pick whatever size, and as they get bigger, I kind of grow them. So this one's like holds 4 inches. This one holds 5 inches, but I've got some that are even bigger than that too. Here's white centers. See, these white centers go with these squares. So the other thing I'll do is I'll just clip them together like this, and then I hang them. Like I'll hang them off my tablet stand. I'll hang them off my light stand. Y'all should see my little nest here. You'd be like, what is she doing? Okay, let's pick a different square to work on. And I think this is the smallest size right here, this little guy. How big is he? He's only 3 inches. I don't usually need any of them smaller than 3 inches. But the 3 inch ones work really good for keeping all my little centers on them as I get them finished. On the live, I try to do stuff so that I'm like finishing a full thing. But if I'm working on my own, you guys are probably like this too. I like to do things in stages, right? So I will do a lot of centers, then I'll come back and do a lot of this, and then I'll come back and then do the outer rows. So you can see I've got all these squares made up till this point. Then I'm going to come back and do the white all at once, and then I'll do the blue all at once. Oh, thank you, Maggie. I learned cool things from you too, girlfriend. It's a mutual learning thing. I learn good things from everybody on TikTok. It's pretty amazing. Oh, there's a deer out there. Did she bring her babies with her this morning? Sorry, squirrel. I don't see any babies. It's just a mama deer, it looks like. Okay, let's do the white yarn. So the white yarn I'm using, they sell the worsted sparkle also at Herrschners. Somebody asked where I get this. I buy this at Herrschners, and these are pretty big skeins, guys. I really like this yarn. The other thing is some of the metallic yarn is pretty rough. This is not super rough yarn. It's actually pretty nice, and I thought the price point was good too. I don't remember what it was. It's 92% acrylic, 8% polyester. Now, that polyester is the little silver sparkle. I don't even know if you guys can see that little silver sparkle. Sometimes sparkle yarns are that sparkle is really thick, and as you're working it, it's rough on your hands. But Herrschners, I really feel like did a great job on this yarn, and it is 489 yards. 489 yards. Lefty, good morning. You could also do like a long cord with a large hook clasp to hang them on for more. Yeah, I just use multiple clips because I feel like it's easier to clip them on and off. They almost remind me of like big diaper pins, but they're not sharp. I mean, they're pointed, but they're not super sharp, the tip. So they're very easy to use. And I really like that part of it. So they're handy to have around. I'm sure a lot of knitters have them just as part of what they do. And I had them, so I buy a lot of stuff. Like if I go to like a thrift store and I see something, that has like crochet hooks or something in it. A lot of times I will buy it and it has like a variety of stuff in it, right? It might have some, thread and sewing stuff, but it also sometimes will have knitting stuff. It might have a few knitting hooks. I know they're getting harder and harder to find, but um I'll buy if it looks like hooks that I want, especially the vintage hooks. And so a lot of times as I am doing that, I will find these knitting pins in there, and it's just kind of they're handy to have around. Uh, yeah, it's like Starry Nights. Doesn't it look like Starry Nights? That's the look I'm going for. But they're going to be all different colors. See, I have all different colors. So there's gray, and then the gray all have a different center in them. And then there's the lighter color. I think it's going to look really cool when I get it all sewn together. It kind of has like this is like more like a country blue, but I'm really excited about this yarn. I think it's really pretty. And I got this from Herrschners. Um, I think they sent me a thing that they're having 99-cent shipping. I think it was 99 cents. I got some more on order because, I don't have enough. Hardy har har har. I want to make an afghan for winter because it would match my holiday decor. That's what I want. That's what I want to do too. If I get ambitious enough, I might do the whole thing with the squares, and then I could put it on the back of my couch. So one of the ways I like to decorate for the holidays is I love little snowmen, snow women, all of the little snowman. And a lot of times they are frosty colored, where they've got like light blues and whites and they're sparkly. And then I've got little sparkly deer, and so I feel like this little blanket would look really cool on the back of my couch. And I might not donate it depending on how this turns out. I might keep it for myself. The thing that holds my squares, these little pins, I get them off Amazon, but they're actually a tool for knitting. This is actually a tool for knitting. They're called what are they called officially, guys? Stitch holders? Basically, Tony Ann, when you're knitting, if you need to take your knitting needles out of your work, you can put this into your knitting and slide all your knit stitches onto the little pin and it will hold them. Stitch holders, cable holders. Um, I've seen them called shawl pins. Yeah, they're actually for these are actually for knitting, and they come in different sizes. So these are all my squares that I have for a different project on my little knitting holder. And you can see I've got a bigger one of these. So they have all different sizes. They have really grande ones too. And if I get two, uh, I'm trying to get it off here to show you guys. This is the biggest one that I have. This one right here. So again, I can hold a lot of squares on this as I keep getting more and more. But they're cheap. How much were they, Maggie? Like $6, if that, for a whole set? And you get different sizes with it. I just have a lot of different sets of them. Most of the time because I end up leaving them in projects and then I'm like, I need more knit marker things. 6.99 for a set of 12. There you go. I mean, you can't beat that, right? What a great little tool to have. You can see I've got I got them everywhere, guys. When I work on these squares, I have them everywhere. So it's a great deal, I feel like. Cable holders have a bend in the middle. Yeah, I don't these ones are straight. These ones are definitely straight. They look like this. They have different colors. Um so I think you slide your stitches off on this. If you want to get your knitting needles out, Maggie, what you do is you would slide all your stitches of your project onto this and it would hold it for you. That's why they have different sized ones. I think that's how they use them. Sherilyn said, I'm making a chevron in Christmas colors for my living room. Nice. So that's my goal too. I would love to have, sometimes I decorate with like blues and whites when I do my snowman theme. And the other time I do like traditional Christmas where it's like green and red and, just traditional. And then, Lady P, this square that I'm making is called the English Rose. And you could go back on my YouTube and watch a full tutorial of how we did it on the live. But I need to make a video tutorial on my TikTok. It's been on my to-do list. Several people have asked me to do that. So I just need to put that I need to do it. I need to do it. Um I found them on the Zon under knitting stitch holder. There you go. They're handy to have, guys. I use them all the time. I've been using them since I was a kid. Like I said, I think they were in some knitting stuff that I got at a thrift store. I never knew what they were. And then it took me a long time to find them because I didn't know like what to search for them as. And finally, how I found them is I took a picture of it and I reverse image searched it on Google. And then I found what they were actually called and that they were actually used for knitting. All these years I had been using them for my crochet to hold my squares, my granny squares. And lo and behold, they're actually a knitting tool, not a crochet tool at all. But for me, they're part of my crochet. Or when you're doing the collar of a vest or blouse, you take the middle part with these. Oh, okay. Look, we're learning all sorts of new things today. Thank you, DE, for that. I appreciate that. All sorts of knowledge here in TikTok land. Hey, Granny, good morning. Welcome in. So anyhow, I definitely need to make a tutorial of how to do this square. The thing that I like about this square is it works up really quick for me, and I don't have to fuss with puff stitches or the bobble stitch. I can just basically do like all I'm doing is single crochets. I'm not even doing single crochets. I'm doing chains, half doubles, doubles, trebles, and slip did I say slip stitch? Slip stitch. And it works up really fast and easy. And sometimes I don't want to do a puff stitch. Sometimes I don't want to do a bobble stitch. Sometimes I want something easy. You know what I mean? And so that's basically how I try to do this square. And it does work up faster for me than a sunburst square, even with changing the colors, you know. But I do like the sunburst square too. Don't get me wrong. I'm not slamming on the Mr. Sunburst because I love the sunburst. You know, that's what all these squares are. That I did these on Sunday while Maggie was on the live. I was working on Christmas squares. So I definitely like the sunburst square. It's just nice to have another little variation. You know, something else to maybe work on. And it does give a similar look to it, this square when I do it. So now I'm ready for the very outer row. The very outer row, I'm using the darker color of the sparkle. And this is very easy. I'm just doing the granny stitch all the way around. So 3 double crochets in the corner, chain 2, 3 double crochets into each space. We do 3 double crochets. Maggie's favorite is the sunburst. Yeah, for sure. I like the sunburst too. Don't get me wrong. I definitely like the sunburst. I'm not trying to say that I don't, because I do. So this is Herrschners Worsted Sparkle that I'm using today. I get this from Herrschners. Okay, I buy this online. I have this color is called Midnight. Then we have white, and the centers that I'm doing with this holiday sparkle. This is Frosty, and you can see it's variegated. It has different colors in it. So it's got the darker blue, the lighter blue, even lighter blue, gray, and then this is not white. It's actually like a kind of a light blue. Yes, sunflower squares. Yep, there's so many possibilities, you guys. So many possibilities of squares. Don't limit yourself to just one thing. And you know, there's a lot of different options out there. Okay, so let's get our dark blue out. Again, this is the colorway Midnight. And I'm going to start with a slip stitch on my hook. Hey, Karen, good morning. Welcome in. You know, the other square, there's another one that I've been wanting to make too. And I'm drawing a blank on the name of it. Some of y'all have made it. Um, I really want to make it. And I just have Willow. It's the Willow square. I really think the Willow square is really pretty. Oh, yes, this would be cool with some star and crescent moon squares. I I don't remember, Sarah, Wren, if they have yellow, but wouldn't it be cool if that you had like a gold yellow sparkly? I think that would look really cool to do those moon and star squares. That would look really cool. There's only certain times a year or certain projects that I like to do the sparkles with, but Christmas and winter is kind of one of those times. So I think I don't know. I'm sure some people think the sparkles are kind of gaudy, but I really like them. I think it's fun. It's something different, you know. It's something different. And um oh, Lulu says I'm making a top with the willow square. Yeah, you know, willow, I have yet to make the willow square. Jennifer's made the willow square. It has definitely been on my to-do list. I want to make that square and I have yet to make it. But, you know, there again, I have all of the little granny square card decks too. I got both of those, and there's so many squares in there. It's like, I swear, I told my mom I could not work and crochet all day long every day, and there would not be enough hours in the day to get all of the different possibilities of crochet done. There are so many possibilities and options and patterns, and every day there's like new stuff. So my mom, you know, was always hitting the thrift stores, and she mentioned earlier on the chat, some of you guys saw that she got a bunch of um like magazines for crochet from the 80s, and we were going over those this weekend. She was looking, of course, we're miles apart, but we send each other's pictures and stuff, and chat and whatnot. And so some of the stuff that she was sending from the 80s is like stuff that is popular today, you know? The stuff like it comes back around, it goes back in style. It's so funny. So the stuff that they were crocheting in the 80s, and it was funny, like all the pictures of the models, you know, they've got the big teased up hair like we all did. And you know, used to spend 3 hours in the bathroom with your can of Aquanet. Yeah, I did that. I did that. I was born in 75, so I was definitely an 80s child, like I know a lot of you all were. And so it was so funny to see all those pictures in the magazines of all the gals with their crochet. And I think the thing that one that was so funny that my mom sent me was um, this cardigan. It was three guys that were like, wasn't it like at the beach, mom, like beach bound? And one of them had this, was it a cardigan? It was a vest. I think it was a vest. And it was, uh, what's it called? Oh, I graduated in 93, Debbie. So I'm a little younger. 75 is when I was born. But yeah, you were there for the 80s too, Debbie, you know. Um so anyhow, it was a chevron vest, and it was with orange and yellow, and I think it had brown in it, and there was a guy wearing it. And y'all, talk about hideous from the 80s. It was like, wow. My mom goes, "Ask Mr. Wheeler if he would wear that." I'm like, "I'm not even asking him that." My brother graduated in 95. He was 2 years younger than me. So, I don't know, that vest was really not pretty. I'll have to put a picture of it on the Discord so you guys can see it, because Mama Wheeler sent me a picture. I'll put it on the Discord, you guys can check it out afterwards, some of the stuff she was sending me. But there was some cute stuff, that was, you know, popular in the 80s. So I thought it was fun. It's nice to have a little trip down memory lane. Got my Karen order last week. Knot Slayer lanyard with tools, stitch markers, and needle ideas. Wow, that's awesome. Kelly, Janine said, "You just described my mom's furniture back in the day, brown, yellow, and orange." So, Kelly, I have to ask you, my grandma's couch was flowers. It was yellow sunflowers, and it had the brown, and it was like velvet. You guys know that couch? That's what my grandma's couch was. I remember that furniture vividly. Um, every time we'd go to grandma's, I always really liked it. But our couch growing up, my mom had a throw blanket on it, and it was green, you know, the 70s green. Uh, and it had flowers on it too. So yeah, it was good memories, right? There's a lot of pictures of my dad with us kids on that couch reading a story and combing his hair or combing my hair and, too funny. My aunt had that couch. Yeah, a lot of people had that couch, right? It was in style. It was the thing. And, I moved into a trailer in the '90s, that had been built in the I think it was built in the '70s, and the toilet was pink porcelain, and the sink was pink porcelain, and, my bathroom actually today, we have a blue, tub and shower. Our house was built in '84, and, we have a big garden tub, and it's blue. It's like this color blue, our bathroom. The shower is this color. It's a walk-in shower, and it's like a fiberglass thing. I hate it. It's so small and tiny. And then our garden tub is this color. It has jets in it. It's from the '80s. It's kind of funny. But I think the pink toilet and sink was probably the best that I have ever seen. And then I had another, house that we lived in. Maybe that was an apartment. That was an apartment when I lived in Vegas. I lived in Vegas in 90. I think I moved there in '94 because I had moved back to Arizona by '95, and, we had yellow. There was yellow appliances and yellow, uh, stove and counter. It was that mustard yellow color. So, Tanya said our house was built in '79 and had a blue bathroom. Yeah. The blue bathroom is classic. So, my husband is always saying he's gonna rip out the garden tub, and, I kinda need the we have a guest bathroom that also has a tub, and I never use the jets on the tub. I'm just not really into that. I'm kinda weird, like, I don't know, germs in the vent jet things, even though I, like, clean it with, like, bleach and stuff. I'm kind of, like, thinking about I don't like that. So so I don't use the jets, and I'm kinda like a germaphobe when it comes to that, but, um, I don't know. I guess maybe I just need to get past that, but I would be fine if he ripped out the garden tub and made our shower bigger. Our shower is just not very big at all. It's really kinda small. My mom had wall phones in the kitchen. It was white, olive, green, and maroon and red. So we still have phone jacks in our walls from when they had phones everywhere in this house. Totally. We totally have that here as well. So yeah, it really is. It's a thing. I want a soaking tub. No jets. Jets are hard to clean. That's exactly it, Ren. I don't like the whole jet thing. One magazine had everything to crochet bathroom accessories. It did. So that I'll have to put that one up too. So it had the floor had a rug on it that was crocheted. I think it had flowers. And then it had um the toilet seat cover, I think wasn't it the toilet seat was crocheted? And then I think the back of the tank had a crochet thing on it as well. I can't remember exactly. Yeah, so that was in the '80s, that stuff was still happening. And of course, the tissue box cover. Um, but we had wall phones. Okay, so you guys want to hear about phones? Yeah, tank covers, Amy. That's crazy, right? So where I lived in Prescott when I was growing up as a kid was very remote. We lived in the forest. The place I grew up was called Ponderosa Park. Ponderosa Park was originally a mining camp that was established in 1816, if I'm not mistaken. And so anyhow, it was a mining community, okay, a mining camp. And eventually they subdivided the mine area and they built houses. I have a daisy wheel, Arlene. I totally have a daisy wheel. Um, so when they subdivided, then people came in and built little houses and cabins, and that's where I lived. Well, my we had a big house that my dad built. My dad built our house from the ground up. My grandpa helped, and my mom, and everybody would come and pitch in back then. So he built the house in 75. I was like 1 month old when he was building the house, and anyhow, all around us were mine shafts and mines where the old miners had been and everything. And anyhow, it was 1884. Thank you, Mom. 1884, and that's when the mining camp was established. Okay, and so when we first lived there, it was a lot of summer homes. There was a lot of just summer cabins, and um, there wasn't a lot of people there year round, okay? And so there wasn't phone lines for everybody to have their own phone. And so what we had when I was a kid growing up, we had party lines. Does anybody know what a party line is for their telephone? We had party lines, and what that meant was there was multiple people, multiple houses, families that were on the same party line. Okay, and I when we first had our party line, when I was really little, Mom, how many people were on it? Was it 16 families? And so you would pick up the phone and you would listen, and if anybody was on the phone, you would hang it back up and you would wait for the other party to get off the phone so then you could make your phone call. Eventually it went down, we had an 8 party line, and then it was a 4 party line, and then finally we only shared with one family. It was a 2 party line. And I remember it was a big thing when we finally got our own phone line, and it was the whole community was like this, and everybody was respectful of each other. And if somebody was on the phone, you would just politely hang back up, and you would um, wait for your line to free up. Oh my gosh, there's another knot, y'all. That's so annoying. Time check. Oh gosh, I've been yakking away. My brain fog is lifting a little bit now that I'm telling stories. um so anyhow, what was my point to all this? I don't remember what my point was, but we had a party line. So, that was back in the 70s when I was growing up, and, yeah, good times, right? Didn't the number of rings tell you which house it was for? That, Ren, I don't remember. My parents had a cabin by us, dad built in 1960. So the house that my mom lives in Prescott is the cabin that my grandpa built in 1960. You guys have heard me talk about that, where they didn't have any water. He used to bring water with him from Phoenix when he would come up. They didn't have any electricity. And he would use old hand tools and built the cabin. So literally saw, get the saw back and forth. um my grandma, the old drill thing where they would drill like this, uh he did that. My grandma would talk about helping him with stuff, holding the ladder. um I couldn't imagine pouring a whole cement. He may have had the cement brought in. I don't remember. Oh my goodness, is that another knot? This is not a very good advertisement, Herrschners, right now. Did you guys see that? 2 knots in a row. This is my third knot in this skein. Herrschners is being naughty, y'all. Herrschners being naughty. Okay, we're going to pull this out. I'm not going to use this little piece. What's the point? Right? So, anyhow, my how things have changed. Could you imagine if you had to share a phone with somebody nowadays? With all of the, I mean, here we are with cell phones and everything. Danny Lee said, I want to get sparkly yarn so bad right now. Well, wait till Herrschners has their shipping on sale or discounted or something, or a promo code. I usually can find a promo code for Herrschners also, so you can get a discount. Yeah, I had an outhouse too. So my mom has 2 sisters. Okay, so there was 3 girls, and there was always creepy crawlies in the outhouse. And so my grandpa, he was a smart guy. He built a 2-seater outhouse that they had there, and the outhouse is still there today. It's not functional. It's used as a tool shed today, But I always thought that was pretty clever of my grandpa to build a two-seater, because you know how you're always like, I want to take a friend with me to the bathroom. You know, you never go alone, right? Us girls, we always have somebody by our side. Well, when you're a young girl, how old were you, Mom? Like 10? The last thing you want to be doing is going in the dark to the creepy crawly uh, of the outhouse. You wanted to bring your friend with you, right? So I always thought that was pretty clever of my grandpa. He was a smart old guy. He was pretty cool, pretty cool. Well, y'all, I guess I should wake up or get up and go to work. I probably need to go find something to eat so I can take my pills. We still have a two-seater at the house of the lake. We still use it. Nice. Two-seater is a smart way to go, right? My dad grew up with 8 siblings in a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom house in a village in eastern Canada. It's amazing, when you talk to, folks that have been around a while, the things that we take for granted today that um, people just didn't have, and some people still today do not have. We take all of that for granted. And we live in such a disposable society. Don't get me started on that. But I am too. I do, like this yarn in the old days. I'm going to throw away this yarn. In the old days, I wouldn't have thrown this away probably. I would have tried to do something with it, save it for another scrap project or something. Um, but I don't know. I mean, I have to do things within reason, right? I want to volunteer at a nursing home to hear the elder stories. That would be cool, Ren. I used to go to the nursing home when I was a kid, but it's a great thing to tap into your grandparents, while they're still here with us, because at some point it all changes. It all changes, and then you think about these stories. These stories I tell you all about my grandparents and the crazy things that they did. I there's so many things. They used to go to the dump bottle hunting, and they would that was one of their little adventures. So they like I said, it was a mining camp, right? And so they used to dump uh their refuse, trash, whatever, into a pile. And my grandparents knew where the dump was, and they would go to the dump. And of course, many many years had passed by, and so anyhow, a lot of most had decomposed and stuff. Oh, thank you everybody for all the screen taps this morning. 118,000. Thank you all so much. I appreciate that. I wasn't even paying attention. I've just been telling stories here. And so anyhow, they would take the shovels. They'd take um, the girls, the 3 girls, my mom and her sisters. They would go down and they would dig for old bottles. They would dig for old bottles. And one of the coolest bottles that I think my mom still has, before Arizona became a state, it was a territory. Prescott was the actual capital before Phoenix became the capital in Arizona. I don't know if anybody knew that. And had my sweet hummingbird visit this morning. I had to fill up my hummingbird feeder, Susan, because they're coming back through for me. We're on a big migratory path here. And so I'm starting to see hummers again. I usually don't see them over the summer. So, anyhow, one of the bottles is Prescott as a territory, which is pretty cool. And they just have a number of old bottles that they collected. Old medicine bottles, with the little stoppers in them, stuff that you would see at an antique store. My grandpa always collected the little metal insulators. My grandpa worked for the Department of Energy, so he was always fascinated with, electrical and that type of stuff. And so anyhow, they're glass, they're like this, and they're domed at the top, and those used to go on the power poles. There still are some places that still have some of those old insulators still in use today. I know I'm going to finish this little bit of this square. I don't like to finish it. I don't want to leave it unfinished. And so anyhow, yeah, he always collected those. I have a few of them too, and my grandma always collected old bottles. She liked the violin bottles, the ones that were shaped like violins or cellos. But she also had those ones that were a little boot, that were a little glass boot, and all sorts of different glassware that she would collect. And there at the cabin in the front window, my grandpa had built shelves on the whole window. It was a big picturesque window. Gosh, that window's big. I want to say it's probably like, I don't know, 5 foot by 6 foot, 6 foot wide by 5 foot tall. It's a real big window. And he put shelves in there, and then my grandma could put all of the little bottles that she had and those insulators there in the window, and the sun would shine through all the pretty purples and blues and yellows and ambers, and so many beautiful bottles. And I have bottles. I have, old canning jars, and some of them that my grandma had, my mom has been bringing back to me here in Alabama, just because my life here is kind of more similar style to what grandma and grandpa had back in the day. And I really want to do a bottle window. I have one I could do in my dining room. Right now, I have bottles in it that are blue, but they're just sky vodka bottles that are pretty blue. I used the vodka to make vanilla extract few years ago. My vanilla is still vanilline, but I think I've got like five of those vodka bottles just because they're pretty blue. I couldn't stand to like throw them away. And the sun shines through them in the afternoon, and it looks so pretty. But I think it would be cool. I think Mr. Wheeler could probably build me a shelf to go across the window. Maybe just like two shelves. I could use the windowsill. Our windowsills are pretty big. They're like 6-inch windowsills, I think. So I could add some bottles to the window, and then the light would shine through them like they used to do at my grandma's house. I think that would be kind of cool. I think grandma would like that as she's looking down on me, and grandpa too. So anyhow, that's one of the things I would definitely like to do in our dining room here. I think it would be neat. Uh, Paloma says I collect old canning jars. Love the blue ones with the lid and the latch. Yeah, I have some of those too. Paloma, I also have some of them that have the metal top. The not the ring, but they're like rounded metal. You know which one I mean? Really pretty jars. Some of them are a real pretty like turquoise blue because of the age on them. It's pretty cool. I like old stuff like that. I collect too much junk. Um, but it's just something that I enjoy doing, and I enjoy like thinking about like the history of something. Like if this jar could talk, right? Paloma, like if you think about like if where have all the places this jar has been? Where has somebody? Oh, now I've lost my needle. Oh, I put it back on my thing. Um, how many cans of apples were in this jar, and how many families has this passed through? It's this beautiful blue color, and it's such an old jar. Like just the sheer history of it is what fascinates me, and I conjure up all these like ideas in my brain of where these things have been, and families sitting around open up a jar of preserves or something. I don't know. I'm weird that way. I get all nostalgic and stuff. It's kind of silly. Old perfume bottles too. Yeah. Yeah. I see a lot of talk about hummingbirds. My mom has a lot of hummingbirds, you guys. Papa Wheeler sent me a video last night of the hummingbirds coming in for their evening fix. And a lot of hummers, a lot of hummingbirds. Pretty cool. All right, y'all. Well, I guess I got to go to work. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Sorry I've been so brain foggy today. Hopefully I didn't torture y'all too much with all my stories and stuff. I appreciate everybody hanging out and having fun. Tomorrow, if I'm feeling more with it, I will try to do the pillow. We'll try to sew that together tomorrow. All right. But thanks for all of the shares, likes, follows, gifts, and whatnot. I appreciate each and every one of you. Special thanks to all of our subscribers. I hope you guys all have a terrific Tuesday. Thanks for hanging out. Bye for now.